Hello and welcome to another episode of Dylan Knows. This is episode 363, Hell Week. I just finished recording episode 362. I had two viewers watching that. It was a eulogy to my cousin John, who passed away this week due to COVID-19. I'm not going to say anything else about that. I spent an hour discussing the life of John and how it affected me and my family. So his death was on Monday, was the beginning of kind of a hellish week, I suppose, mostly due to the fact that I lost my cousin, but there's a lot of other interesting things that was going on that isn't as heart-bursting and heart-destroying as my cousin's death. Fortnite is going to war with Apple and Google. Halloween stuff is starting to filter out forever. There were other deaths this week, not quite as intense as my cousin's, but still there they are. But a ton of Halloween stuff, bears, animals, hell ants, murder crocodiles, new dinosaur found. My kids' public school has come up with their plan. There's some Christmas stuff in there, turkey dinner, candy corn, reboots, Krispy Kreme, cookie dough, ghosts, Dolly Parton, TikTok. More actors have COVID-19. A new Star Wars holiday show, Beetlejuice, the star, is still going crazy. New iced lattes. NASA's got a bunch of stuff going on. A Seahawks player got cut for a crazy reason. The St. Louis Cardinals baseball team will have to play a lot of games in September, or the rest of August and September. Does Bigfoot live in caves? Marriage. Heated folding chairs, fall's coming, births, deaths, straight to videos, Oreos, toaster strudels. Ben Shapiro said something stupid. Zombie pigs. We have a vice president nominee, a stupid racist meme making its way around. DC Comics had a bad week as well. And the Big Ten has determined what they're going to do for football this season. And a number of pop culture people hit milestones this week. Before I get to this, please go back and watch episode 362, The Firework Gremlins. I just finished it. It is a eulogy to my cousin John, who we lost this week to COVID-19. So let's get started with a bunch of other bad stuff that happened this week. I guess it was maybe the same day that my cousin died, or maybe it was Tuesday. A massive explosion hit off of Reisterstown Road in Baltimore. Reisterstown Road is, I'm in Reisterstown, and Reisterstown Road starts up here, and it goes all the way into Baltimore City. But when the explosion happened, it destroyed 3 row homes. I don't know if there was any deaths involved. I'm sure it was. They said it was a gas main explosion, but it was a massive explosion that wiped out 3 houses completely. And they said it was off of Reisterstown Road, so people who don't know the area think that Reisterstown Road meant in Reisterstown. So I got a number of really nice messages from friends and family who don't know about Reisterstown Road, asking if we were okay, because they heard that something happened in Reisterstown, because friends from Texas and stuff like that were asking about it. It's like, no, it was further down the road from us in the Pikesville, closer to the Baltimore City line. Then we were probably 20 minutes away from us, and I didn't hear an explosion, didn't feel a rumble. The only thing I heard was helicopters and sirens were making their way down there. So that was an awful little thing that happened. a derecho hit the Midwest, meaning a giant rainstorm hit out west, had upwards of 102-mile-per-hour winds. There was a tornado in the city of Chicago, which has never happened. So lots of awful, crazy stuff like that. I think I talked about this last week, but I'll bring it up again. There was a earthquake in North Carolina, which was a 5.1 on the Richter scale. Woke people up, and I think that was on Sunday. So that was part of the beginning of this whole week from hell. Hasn't happened in years that a earthquake of that height or that strength hit North Carolina. Multiple smaller earthquakes have been happening around the San Andreas Fault, which is not a good sign, because maybe that means that the San Andreas Fault is going to be getting a little bit more active. And we know that if the San Andreas Fault goes off, it could destroy the entire state of California. So it's 2020, so either that's going to happen or the Yellowstone volcano is going to erupt, or both are going to happen. Hopefully neither is going to happen, but there's the potential that it could be. NASA has heard the loudest sound that ever boomed the universe. So they picked up a sound that they've never heard that was louder than they've ever heard of anything in there. So that's kind of a interesting little thing to look at. Texas is battling an infestation of giant swamp rats. So, they are invading Texas. So watch out for big giant rats. DC Comics had massive layoffs this week. Many editors, the editor-in-chief, Bob Harris, was laid off this week as well. They are reorganizing everything under Jim Lee's control. They canceled multiple comic series for comics coming out in November, and ones that, before COVID happened, they were just going to wrap them up digitally and not actually release actual floppies. So, but they are going to cancel, and I think they're canceling a total of like 11 titles over the next month or two. I mean, meaning in November when they're supposed to come out. Their last issues will be out in November. So multiple series getting canceled. DC Direct, which when I was working at Diamond was the action figure company to look after, and I bought multiple DC Direct action figures. They're really, really good. DC Direct no longer exists due to these layoffs. They have completely folded the DC Direct section that was shut down. And Jim Lee says they're going to create more expensive collectibles to try to, I guess, build up money. And then, of course, DC's got this whole new distribution thing, which my comic store is not very happy about, because they do not get deliveries on a consistent day. They're all over the place. They could be delivered Friday, Saturday, Monday, or Tuesday, and they should be out by Tuesday. So he's not happy about that, plus the fact that he's trying to get reorders and the reorders are not happening for him is also disturbing him as well. So he's unhappy. So DC's in a lot of hot water right now, and so a lot of stuff going on with them. But as I said, it seems like things are just getting reorganized, and hopefully that's just residuals to 2020, and that when 2021 rolls around, maybe things will start evening out a little bit and things can start going back to normal. We shall see, or maybe not. Don't know. Two Canadian ice croppings have completely, or ice caps, I should say, have completely vanished from the Arctic due to global warming. The Arctic is warming up. I think a couple of weeks ago, I told you that they registered the first ever 100-degree day in the Arctic. They've never had a 100-degree day in the Arctic. Well, now they have. And that's also causing, as I said, ice caps to disappear completely. So 2 in Canada have completely disappeared. They had pictures of them before and after. and you can see the progression of them disappearing. So that's just wonderful. The Big Ten college group, which includes Maryland, Michigan, Ohio State, Wisconsin, Illinois, Indiana, Rutgers, what's the Pennsylvania one? Penn State, and a few other as well. They are not doing football this year due to COVID-19. So all college football has been canceled for the fall. I've heard that they are, for the Big Ten anyway, I have heard that they are contemplating doing their season in the spring, which I guess could make sense if everything is cleared up. But we will have to see about that. Antonio Banderas has come down with COVID-19. So he is, he's been ill, so now he's recovering from that. So hopefully he'll be okay about that. John Rhys Davies, who played Sallah in the Indiana Jones movies, and coincidentally, my cousin John, when we played Indiana Jones as kids, he would always play Sallah. John Rhys Davies has COVID-19 as well. So that's a big deal. Hasn't, hopefully won't die, but he has contracted the disease. So this COVID-19 is not a joke, as I talked about in my last episode about my cousin. It's affecting everybody. So, treat it as such. Other sports stuff. Cardinals, the St. Louis Cardinals, their team, much like the Miami Marlins, had a whole bunch of people who had contracted COVID-19, so they've had to cancel a lot of baseball games. And since it's already an abbreviated season, they need to play these games. So from now through September, the St. Louis Cardinals will have to play 7 doubleheaders. I think they will be playing 31 games in 30 days, which means that they have no time off, and they're playing 2 games a night, sometimes back to back. So they might be playing 4 games in 2 days. So that's crazy. A Cincinnati Reds player has contracted COVID-19, so we'll see how that's all going about that. The Orioles so far haven't had any major issues. They are presently considered to be a Cinderella team because they are performing above and beyond what they're expecting. Ooh, are they winning? They are. They won. So they had a 6-game win streak going on until last night. Then they got their butts beat last night pretty badly, 15-3. And then today, the Orioles won 7-3. So the Orioles are presently 12-8. And they play the Washington Nationals, who are the defending World Series champs. The Nationals are 7-11. Now, I remember ESPN, when they were doing their announcements about what records the teams would have during the 60-game abbreviated season, they said they highly doubt that the Orioles would win 10 games in the first 12 games. Well, guess what? We are 12-8 right now, and you can suck at ESPN. Switching to football, a Seattle Seahawks rookie got cut from the Seattle Seahawks when it was discovered that he tried to sneak a woman into the team hotel and had her dressed in Seahawks paraphernalia so that people would think that it was just another player and not a chick that he wanted to have sex with. So he got released because, they have rules to try to make sure that their players do not get COVID-19 and that they do not have the issues that other sports have been having as well. So, so crazy, man. Let's see what else. Going to the back to the this on Sunday, the Washington Nationals were finishing up a 3-game series with the Orioles in DC. The Orioles had won the first two and were winning the third game when you get to the bottom of the fifth inning, top of the sixth inning, when a freak rainstorm, not really freak, but it just appeared out of nowhere, came and hit the baseball diamond so they had to postpone the game, and they were going to wait until the rain goes by, or so you think. So basically what happens when a rainstorm hits, the team, when they call the game or postpone it for a little bit, the players get off the field, and the grounds crew comes and they covers up the dirt so it does not become mud. The grounds crew could not even do that. So while they pouring down rain and making the grounds not suitable for playing, they could not get the tarp down in time. And by that time, there was going to be no way that even when it stopped raining, that the field would be ready to play for the rest of the day. So they canceled the game. And since the Nationals were going to be in Baltimore this weekend, they made up the rest of it on Friday. So they started at the top of the sixth inning. The Orioles had a man on second, and they had to finish the game in Baltimore, so the Orioles won that. So they actually won that game. So they swept the Nationals, which was the second straight 3-game sweep and the 6-game winning streak that they had. And then they had to play their regular game last night, which they lost. So they played the rest of the postponed game where they played it at Camden Yards, and Washington was the home team at Camden Yards. And then there was only about 3 innings they had to go through, and then that was over, and then they took a break, and then they played the Orioles, and the Orioles won that one. So they ended up retroactively sweeping the Nationals. So fun in the sun. Let's see. The other big news, actually, we better do the uproar about this. So I'm going to get a little bit more political here for a second. I've been noticing a lot of uneducated, ignorant, racist people. Some of them, unfortunately, I know pretty good, who I follow on Facebook, kept declaring a story that came out about a 5-year-old white boy who was riding on his bike or whatever, and a black guy came out, shot him in the head and killed him. No one knows the reason why. So they jumped on that and says, where's the outrage over this? Where's the Black Lives Matter? Where's the Black Lives Matter people when a young 5-year-old white boy gets killed by a black person? Why should we say Black Lives Matter when it kills a young little 5-year-old white boy? But here's the thing. Where's the uproar? Where's the protest for that? Well, here's the thing. The killer of this 5-year-old white boy was apprehended in 24 hours after a 24-hour manhunt. The guy was booked right away for first-degree murder and is in jail awaiting trial. Justice has been done. The fact that everyone is screaming that, all lives matter, and what about what about a young white boy getting killed, by a black person? It's why should we, this is the reason why we don't agree with Black Lives Matter. Well, no, here's the thing. Y'all seem to forget about Tamir Rice, a 12-year-old boy who was shot and killed by a police officer in 2014. And the reason why is because he was playing with a toy gun. The police officer thought it was a real gun and shot and killed him without talking to the boy or figuring out what the situation is, just shot first and after. The policeman was never arrested. Breonna Lewis Taylor, I forget her name, but Breonna, everyone knows Breonna, I say it. She was an black EMS person who helped take care of people and stuff like that, and she was exhausted, so she went home to go to bed, and she was sleeping when police officers smashed down her door and shot her to death. Then they realized, oops, we had the wrong house. Those police officers have not been caught either. George Floyd, who started the protests earlier this year, he might have been caught with a forged money, but there was no reason to put your knee on his neck so that he couldn't breathe for 12 minutes and killed him instantly like that for forgery. No police officers have been really affected by it. I think they arrested one guy, but justice really has not been coming for him. There's tons of other stories of young people, black people, who have been killed by white people, and the white people either do not get charged for the crime, do not get charged with first-degree murder, end up getting, they might get thrown off the force, but they end up finding a job somewhere else. That's why we protest. There's no justice. There was justice for this young white boy. All showing now is that you are a racist piece of shit, and you're ignorant and uneducated and don't know a damn thing about anything. So you can go fuck yourselves for all I care. Some good political news, even though the Republicans and the assholes and the uneducated, sexist, racist motherfuckers are coming out of the world for this. Kamala Harris, who was running against Joe Biden for the presidency and was not that kind to Joe during the primaries, but then ended up dropping out, has been named Joe Biden's running mate. And I think is an absolute perfect move. But I have racist assholes on my Twitter and on my Facebook saying that the only reason why she got her job was because she fucked her way to the top, and that people who I thought would be happy about this, who are Bernie bros, saying that we're doomed. I wrote a whole big response to the we're doomed thing from someone who I used to respect, but turns out they're just a Bernie bro. Being, how do you know? I mean, yes, you may have lived in California when she was Attorney General, and yes, she may have been a rough and tumble Attorney General. But again, you do not know what's going to happen. You cannot tell the future. Same with Joe Biden. I've seen something like, referring to, things, racist things he'd done in the 70s and saying, well, you want this person to, he's going to unite the black people. Well, that was the 70s. That was almost 40 plus years ago, you ignorant, stupid bitch. And you don't quite understand, because you're a racist Republican motherfucker, that people can change, which is odd, because you'd think that someone like you, and yes, I'm totally subtexting these people, would understand that people can change. But no, you had to be a stupid bitch, ignorant bitch about things. And because you are a Trump fan, which doesn't make any goddamn sense anyway, considering he's trying to destroy our country and he's fascist. But that's besides the point. Fascist, Nazi, racist, sexist bitch, asshole, motherfucker, whiny rapist. You don't give a damn. Because I don't know why. I can't even fathom why. I can only assume that you are uneducated and ignorant, and I know other people who are also, but they're not going to vote. So they can be ignorant and uneducated all you want, but they don't vote. So it doesn't matter to me, because they're not going to help in any way. But that's besides the point. I'm getting off track here. But Kamala is now the vice president. I think it's an absolutely perfect job. And everyone who thinks it isn't can go fuck yourselves. Speaking of DC real quick, I talked about how they're going through these massive layoffs and multiple comics being shut down, stuff like that. Well, originally, before COVID hit, they were planning a big thing for this summer called Gen 5, where they were going to age up all the superheroes, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, all that, and have them fit the age where they were created, like 39s, 40s, stuff like that. And they were going to have them move out and have a new group of young heroes come in. It's going to be the big, massive event of the summer. But COVID came and put a big quash on that. And then they started thinking about it when people started hearing more about it. They were not happy with that idea, so they have scrapped it entirely. But the main reason why is because COVID was the one that killed that. And so we have gotten word that has officially been killed, and that one of the stories that was going to lead into it is in issue 1027 of Detective Comics, which celebrates the 1000th issue again of Batman. Everyone just likes to celebrate. I mean, they just did a giant size $10 80-page Batman thing for Detective 1000. But since Batman actually did not appear until Detective 27, they decided we're going to do it again 27 issues later when he actually started. So it's actually been 1,000 issues of Batman, just Batman and Detective Comics, starting with 1027. So there was a story in there that was going to connect to the Gen 5 stuff, but now it's just going to be sort of a alternate story like they've been doing for some of these other ones that has no place in continuity, but they don't care about continuity anymore anyway, so it doesn't matter. On a good note, I don't know this guy too well. He's a friend of mine on Pokemon Go. He doesn't play that much. He is Australian. He is really good friends with the three gals who used to do the comics podcast I used to listen to all the time. I've had them on my show before, all three of them, Karen, Allison, and Jessica. Mike Garvey got married today. But he's in Australia, so it's been about a day now since he's been married. And if COVID wouldn't have happened, Jessica, Allison, and Karen would have been in Australia for the actual wedding because they were invited and they were going to go. But because of COVID, they cannot travel to that. So not just because of that, but because of other things as well. So Mike decided to set up a Zoom wedding that would show his wedding to his new wife and the family members in the church like that, and the friends who could not make it, who were overseas, would be able to watch on Zoom because Mike always made one trip to the United States every year. That was for Heroes Con, and that's where he met up with Jessica, Karen, and Allison, and they became huge friends that way. So they were all invited to the wedding, and so they got to watch the Zoom wedding, and Allison posted a bunch of pictures, and it was great. As I said, I've talked to him a little bit. He's got a great podcast about Doom Patrol, but I wasn't as close to him as those three ladies were. So obviously I didn't get the invite to the wedding, which is fine. I don't care because I said I don't really know him that well, but still he's friends of mine in Pokemon and friends on Twitter, and I respond to his tweets and he responds to me. So it's all great. So congratulations, Mike, to you and your wife. Good job on that. Some other interesting stuff. Nia DaCosta, who is the director of the upcoming Candyman movie, which is still set to come out in Halloween time in mid-October, is now set to direct Captain Marvel 2 when that gets around. So that's good. We get another female director to do a Marvel movie. So that's good on that one. Speaking of Halloween, as I just said about Candyman, Milano Pepperidge Farm pumpkin spice cookies are going to be out and about now. Pepperidge Farms pumpkin spice swirl bread and cheesecake cookies are back for the fall as well. So we're going, as you'll see later on in the episode, we're going to have a whole bunch of new fall Halloween sort of stuff is going to start rolling into grocery stores starting this week, actually this week upcoming. I'll tell you about that in a second with Duncan. Hey, 1 month. Oh, wow. Robert Trump, the younger brother of President Donald Trump, has died. He had contracted COVID-19 as well. So that's kind of interesting. I doubt that's going to change his mind about the whole COVID stuff. COVID-19 is nothing to mess around with, y'all. So just saw that. So to reiterate, Robert Trump, Donald Trump's younger brother, has died. He had contracted, I believe, COVID-19. So he passed away of COVID-19 this week as well. So speaking of, getting back to what I was saying before I checked that, Halloween stuff is going to start rolling through. I was at my wife's grocery store on Friday, I guess, yesterday. Maybe Thursday. No, it was yesterday. And they had, it was Thursday. It might have been Thursday. It was Thursday, actually. They had their whole Halloween section up and going as well. So that's all rolling through. And as you'll see, we got a lot more stuff coming up with that as well. Speaking of Halloween sort of stuff, Yale scientists have restored the brain functions of 32 clinically dead pigs, tentatively creating zombie pigs for the most part. So now they have found a way to bring at least pigs back from the dead who were clinically dead. So restore the brain function of that. So we'll see what happens with that. Golden Grams Toaster Strudel is a new thing coming out really soon. Java Chip Oreo is another new thing coming out. That's not really so much fallish as, hey, it's new stuff coming out. Hey, check it out. Garth Davis to direct Tron 3 with Jared Leto. I like the original Tron, haven't seen the sequel, and I'm not a big fan of Jared Leto, so we'll see what happens. Antebellum, which is the new movie from the guy who Jordan Peele. I don't know, or is it a female? Maybe it was a female, but Jordan Peele might have produced it. But regardless, Antebellum was supposed to come out. I think it's Jordan Peele directing it, though. Was supposed to come out in September, I think, in movie theaters. But because of COVID-19, it is now going to be a direct-to-video release on September 18th, 2020. So you'll be able to only see Antebellum on video on demand and not in movie theaters, despite the fact that, well, we'll get to that in a second, that AMC plans on opening soon. We'll talk about that in a second also. Whew. I got a lot of stuff still to go through, and we're about half hour in, so let's keep rolling here. Chris Pratt and Katherine Schwarzenegger have welcomed their first child. So Arnold is now officially a grandfather. So that's kind of weird. Arnold Schwarzenegger is a grandfather now. It's kind of interesting. They are now unicorn ice cream cones are out and about now. Unicorn seems to be one of the new flavors out there. There's going to be another unicorn thing coming up later in the store in this week's show. So we'll see what happens. Zac Efron is going to be remaking Three Men and a Baby for Disney Plus. I'm not sure I'm a big fan of that. Three Men and a Baby was classic, and you really don't need to remake every damn movie, but you'll have Zac Efron as the lead, so okay, whatever. Quentin Tarantino said he's always wanted to make a Star Trek movie, and he said he had the best idea, and he finally revealed what it was, and my opinion of it is, really? It was to be expected. I thought it'd be a bit more creative from you, Quentin, but he wanted to. There was an episode of the TV series where they went back in time to the 1930s, and they were gangsters. He wanted to do a Star Trek movie where they are gangsters. They go back in time and are gangsters and spend most of their time being gangsters, which is basically his wheelhouse. I was kind of hoping that his idea would be unique and different from what he usually does. A guy who's not normally known for his science fiction, doing a straight up science fiction story. But now that he's mentioned what this is, I say, I hope I never see this because it just sounds terrible. It's not Star Trek. Why don't you just do a goddamn 1930s gangster film if that's what you want to do? You don't have to have Star Trek attached to it. If you want to do Star Trek, but do a dark, deep, violent science fiction thing that's not about time travel or gangsters or gangs or whatever. Have a big battle with aliens and stuff like that. Let's do something science fiction related. I'm disappointed in you, Quentin, but not that much because I've never really been that big of a fan of his anyway, but whatever. A warthog ran out of the Baltic Sea and it started attacking beachgoers. There's video of it. It is actually really weird and crazy to see. So that's something no one is expecting to see. So let's see. We had that big story. Talk about a second. That funny story, and then the anniversary stuff. No, we've done this page. Okay, the anniversary stuff. Anniversaries this week include Astro City is 25 years old. Kurt Busiek and Brent Anderson, along with Alex Ross, created their own world of superheroes, and they called it Astro City. But what made that comic different than regular comic books is that instead of really focusing on superheroes fighting bad guys and saving the world and planet and the city by itself, they focus more on the regular people who live in the city and how their lives are changed and are affected by the superheroes and the supervillains. And we also get more of a personal look into the lives of the superheroes themselves. In fact, there's one episode where the Superman archetype and the Wonder Woman archetype have decided that they should start dating. So they get disguised as humans and they sit in a diner, and the whole issue is them having a discussion about life and love and everything about that, and not superhero related stuff. So that was kind of interesting. But Astro City is one of those best comics. If you've never read Astro City, there are about, I don't know, like 6-7 trades. I highly recommend you go catch them all. Fantastic stuff, and there should be more coming soon. I think they're going to be no longer comics, but graphic novels now, so that'll be good to see that. Real Genius, one of the best movies of the 80s, one of my wife's favorite movies, one of my favorite movies, has turned 35 this year. So that's this week, actually. So that's great. Volunteers, which isn't that big of a movie, but is important because it was the one where Tom Hanks, a young Tom Hanks coming off of Splash. So he wasn't the big Tom Hanks. He was a young, hungry Tom Hanks finding whatever he could. Met It was in his film called Volunteers, where he reteamed with John Candy, who was played his brother in Splash, about a film about a rich guy who decides to escape from owing money to the mob or something like that. So he becomes a member of the not Red Cross, but the volunteer corps that goes. Peace Corps goes to Peace Corps that goes to foreign lands and ends up getting involved in a government coup. But why it's not one of the best movies? It's okay, but it's not great. Considering the talent involved, you thought it'd be better. But the biggest important thing about that was that movie, which came out the same week as Real Genius, is 35 years old. It's the one where Tom Hanks met a specific woman by the name of Rita Wilson, who was the lead actress hired to play the love interest, and the two of them hit it off and have been married since. So there's that. And The Replacements, Keanu Reeves' first film after The Matrix, about a ragtag football team, filmed mostly here in Baltimore, with a great cast, including Gene Hackman and Jon Favreau and Rhys Ifans, and I'm trying to think who else we got. That's a big name. Keanu, obviously. There's for other people I can't think of off the top of my head. About a group of misfit football players who, when the real football players go on strike, they're scabs that come in and do that. But it's a great football movie. It's a lot of fun, filmed in Baltimore, and great to check out. If you haven't seen it, it's a good one. Ben Shapiro, who is a Republican asshole, his wife is a doctor, and his wife claims that vaginal wetness during intercourse is not normal. It is a gynecological issue. So basically, you're saying that when you're fucking your husband, you don't get wet, which basically means that you've come, which basically means that you've orgasmed, and you're saying the orgasm doesn't exist, even though you're a doctor. I think you're just trying to cover the fact that this Republican asshole can't make you come. And so you're protecting yourself by saying, well, it's not really real anyway. I can guarantee you there will be other gynecologists who will say, what do you fucking know, you stupid bitch? Just because your husband can't get you wet doesn't mean that no, vaginal wetness is not normal. It is normal, and you don't want to have sex going in dry. It's just, it doesn't work. The other big news this week is Fortnite. Fortnite is a game that for the longest time I didn't want to play. I thought it was dumb. My son thought it was dumb, but then he met a friend of his who got him into it this year, and I watched him play one time, and I thought, wow, that is really cool. And I got excited about it, so I joined on my mobile app on the iPhone, and I've been playing since. I've been playing now for a few months now, I think since May or June. So I've been playing for a few months now, and I've gotten really, really good at it. And as a matter of fact, I had a Victory Royale last night, which is the best you can do. Is the last man standing. So I've had multiple ones of those. So I've been doing really well with that game. However, there's a bit of a snag now. Fortnite has been removed from the iPhone app as well as Android app. It is no longer available in the Google Play Store, and you cannot see it in the iTunes App Store as well. The reason is because this week Fortnite decided that they were going to create their own way to get your money to pay for V-Bucks, to buy the skins and the emotes and stuff like that, by creating their own pay platform. When they agreed to be on iPhone and Android, they signed a deal that said the only way you could get, money for your V-Bucks, stuff like that, would be through our Apple Store and Android stores, where you can get the money to buy your V-Bucks. And I guess they get a kickback of it, and Epic gets a kickback of it. But Epic decided we want more of the money than you're giving us, so they started this whole new site, and they've reduced the price of their V-Bucks and their emotes and stuff like that. Apple and Android and Google took exception to that and removed them from the iPhone app. And now Fortnite is suing them both, and we'll see what happens with that. Basically, that means, even though I have Fortnite on my phone, they're not gonna delete it off my phone. It's gonna still be there, but I will not be able to update to the new season when that comes in a couple of weeks on the iPhone. Now I got a Switch Lite for my birthday, and I can download Fortnite on there. But my feeling, and I don't know for sure, but I just have a bad feeling in the back of my mind that they're not going to allow me to use the account that I started on my phone, which would be a shame, because I have a ton of emotes and avatars and skins and stuff like that I spent a lot of good money on, and I don't want to lose them. And I don't want to start over again and have to wait till they all come back out again, because I have them already and I've already paid for them. So I'm hoping and praying that either A, they work out a deal and everything is fine, I can update it and stuff like that. They have until the 27th to do that. So not long now, 12 days to do that, which I doubt is going to happen. Or I hope that when I set up my Switch Lite and I download Fortnite, that there'll be an option that says, sign in, and I'll be able to sign in under my account and be able to use it. So fingers crossed, we'll see what happens. But then the weird thing happened was the same day that all that happened and they were dropped from the app stores and the Google Play stores and stuff like that, Fortnite itself went down on all platforms for about 3 or 4 hours. So just kind of weird stuff going on. We have some other Fortnite news, I think, coming up later, but for now, that just was kind of the big news also is going on. Pro wrestler Kamalia, the Vigilant, the Virginian or whatever. I guess I don't know what that is, but he was a pro wrestler. He died of COVID-19 this week, along with my cousin, who died this week as well from COVID-19, and along with Robert Trump as well. Ash Christensen, an Emmy Award-winning filmmaker, dies at the age of 35 this week. Sumner Redstone, who is a media mogul who owned Viacom CBS, died at the age of 97 this week. Trini Lopez died of COVID-19 this week, along as well as my cousin did as well. He was a Dirty Dozen actor and also sang the song and a popular hit in If I Had a Hammer. Raymond Allen, the Sanford and Son actor who played the son to Sanford, died at the age of 91 this week as well. And I think that's it. For those who just joined, my eulogy for my cousin, I did previously on a previous episode before I did this one. It'll be uploaded tomorrow to various websites. So if you want to see that, I will show you the whole thing. It was an hour-long tribute to my cousin who died of COVID-19 this week. So if you were here for that, I'm going to be just talking about stuff that happened this week. I already had my eulogy for my cousin, so just want to let you know. Gushers yogurt is now a thing, and it's going to be filled with bursting beads of flavor, just like the Gushers candy is. But don't know if you want to see my eulogy, it'll pop up all over the place tomorrow. Don't worry, I will make sure you all see it. The National Zoo in Washington says that their panda might be pregnant, which is fantastic. We got baby pandas again. So the panda cam is back on, and we're watching to make sure she's doing okay. So we'll see what happens. Brave dog goes into a burning house to save his kitten friend. So that's a nice little story about that. NASA releases pictures of red cyclones on Jupiter that resembled a pepperoni pizza. It was a really weird picture. It literally looked like it was a giant pepperoni pizza, but they were red cyclones. So that's something new and interesting that we haven't heard about. Russians have been warning that a war with aliens is currently happening now in the Arctic. Again, this is one of those clickbait sort of headline things that, could it be true? Maybe, maybe not. We don't know. Maybe that's why the polar ice caps disappeared that I talked about earlier in the show, due to the war, possibly something like that is happening. Midnight Sun, which was the newest Twilight book that was telling the original Twilight story through the eyes of the vampire, has sold 1 million copies this week alone. So it is a big hit, despite the fact that everybody makes fun of the Twilight series. Apparently, it's still well loved because it sold 1 million copies this week. And Stephanie Meyer, the writer of it, is like, probably write some more. So we'll probably be seeing more Twilight books in the future. A recent Nintendo Switch ad that might be promoting the return of Mario Sunshine, which was a game that was only available for a brief time on an old console, might be coming back to the Nintendo Switch. But it was an ad featuring a Mario sitting on the beach drinking in his swim trunks and no shirt on. Apparently, they believe that Nintendo removed Mario's nipples from the ad because you can't see them. It's just a straight plain thing and no up nipple things. And then what's the big deal about that? So they got rid of nipples. Who cares? It's an action figure. It's a video game figure. It doesn't matter if they have nipples or not. New iced lattes from Hostess include snowball flavor, honey bun flavor, ding dong flavor, and Twinkie flavor. You can get them out in your grocery stores probably now. There are new soft plushies, which are Harry Potter vehicles. There's the Night Bus and the Flying Car and the Hogwarts Express. So if you want to get soft plushies and the vehicle designs from the Harry Potter movies, you can now. They are available now. Walmart and Michael's are both offering Halloween trees, and I think I will be going to both of those places sometime this week to see how much they are, and maybe I will pick up one and set it up for Halloween. If I do, I'll let you know. Maybe take some pictures and show you about that. Speaking of holidays, one of the most embarrassing things about the Star Wars world, and appropriate considering my cousin John was one of the biggest Star Wars fans, and he passed away this week due to COVID-19, but he was a huge Star Wars fan. One of the greatest things was the Star Wars holiday special that came out the Christmas, I believe it was right after Star Wars came out, so 77, maybe 78 at the latest, and it brought back the cast of Star Wars onto a TV show and to one of the weirdest shows you've ever seen, but it just showed how popular things were. And to think that Harrison Ford, Carrie Fisher, and Mark Hamill were on TV. And I actually remember I watched it. So I actually did watch it when it came on. I do remember it vaguely. I haven't seen it in forever. And then for the longest time, they have not released it. It's on YouTube now, I believe, and you'll be able to do that. But Disney Plus is not releasing the original holiday special. They are creating a brand new Lego Star Wars holiday special. So I don't know if it's going to be kind of an homage to the original one. It looks like from what some of the pictures I've seen, it's going to be a lot of the newer Star Wars characters are going to be in it and not so much the originals, but we'll find out for sure. Speaking of Disney Plus, they're getting themselves prepped for Halloween as well. They have now a Halloween section on Disney Plus. If you go to Disney Plus, you will find the Halloween section has over 20 live action and animated Halloween specials and movies, including Tim Burton's Frankenweenie, Hocus Pocus, Halloween Town, Nightmare Before Christmas, Haunted Mansion, and other cartoons as well. Ichabod, the Mr. Toad and Toad and Frog, or Toad and I don't know, whatever. But that is out now, so go to Disney Plus, and they'll probably be adding more as Halloween gets closer and closer. So as of now, they just wanted to lay down a group of them. So if you want to check some of those out, go for it. The star Beetlejuice has been acting weird all year long, and I brought them up, and it's been dimming, it's been deformed, it's been brighter than it ever has been, it's been pulsating, it's weird. Well, scientists are still puzzled by it, but they believe that they may have an idea why all this stuff is happening. They believe that it ejected a dust cloud, which has created all this weird imagery and stuff like that, and caused things to go crazy. So it's very possible. Frozen 2 sugar cookie dough is out there now. So if you like Frozen 2, you can get the sugar cookies now. Cookies and cream Kit Kat is a thing, so you can go ahead and get that as well. I think that's already been out by now. Lay's is bringing back the BLT chips for the summer. Well, it remains of the summer anyway. But they were actually pretty good from what I recovered. Bacon, tomato, lettuce flavor. They're actually not too bad. I kind of liked them. So they were back out and about. Orange Vanilla Twist Captain Morgan rum is out now. So if you want to have a mixed drink that tastes like a creamsicle, and that's the rum you're going to want to use. A hungry bear waits patiently as campers make him a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They have videos of this bear just sitting patiently waiting for the sandwich, and they make it for him, and he gobbles it down. A bald eagle attacks and destroys a $995 government drone flying 162 feet above the ground, I should say, and the bald eagle destroyed it, so good on him. The hell ant is a 99 million year old ant, and it has been finally discovered. So we have hell ants now. Obviously, they're not real now, but it was real in the time of the dinosaurs and stuff like that. So they just wanted to show that as well. Toasted marshmallow whipped cream is a thing now, to add it to your special stuff to get a little bit of a toasted marshmallow flavor. A bison attacks a woman taking pictures of it at the San Diego State Park, rips her pants off. Amazon Indian tribe has won a huge lawsuit against an oil company and continuing to save the rainforest. DC Comics, despite the fact that they're having all these issues, will be publishing Alan Moore's Twilight of the Superheroes story. It was a story that they contracted him to write that was going to be a post-crisis story, but for whatever reason, they never did. It was supposed to show the future of the DC universe after the crisis, see what happened, but they decided not to publish it. And of course, Alan Moore, being Alan Moore, became a little whiny bitch about it and moved away. They are now, I guess, releasing it now because of the fact that they are having all these issues and hoping that people are going to want to read this thing. So we're going to do that as well. Pillsbury is making edible cookie dough bites now. We're going to see more about cookie dough bites down the line, but everyone likes to eat the cookie dough straight out of the batter, and people for the longest time were saying that it was dangerous for you, but now these are safe, so you can actually now get just cookie dough bites and eat them. You can't make cookies out of them. It's just for snacking. Dolly Parton went out this week and declared that she supports Black Lives Matter and has been helping people affected by COVID-19 by paying for hospital bills and research on it, been sending books to poor people during the pandemic and stuff like that. So she's been doing a great job, but everyone in the South who thought that she believed in their anti-Black Lives Matter stuff were sorely mistaken and have been razzing on her a little bit. But Dolly Parton, being Dolly Parton, is just brushing off like it's nothing and it's not affecting her, and that's great. That asshole in the White House is suing or is removing TikTok, which I didn't think he was able to do, but apparently he's going to. However, TikTok users in the U.S., or I'm sorry, TikTok U.S. employees who are losing their jobs because this are suing that asshole for losing their jobs. So maybe something will come to that. I doubt it, but hopefully maybe. HBO Max has been showing the wonderfully sardonic Blazing Saddles, which was a product of its time. And now, because of the age of the way things are now, they have added a disclaimer to it saying that there will be language and racism and stuff like that. But at the time, it was used for a specific reason, and it's not the use of the slur and the stuff that's happening in the movie is actually more of a parody, and it actually shows how smart the black sheriff is to the white townsfolk, which is a good example of it. Dennis Quaid, the actor, has adopted a shelter cat that was named Dennis Quaid. I think that's adorable, and I think that's a wonderful little story about that. Sad story. There was a picture posted of a kangaroo grieving after its mate who was hit by a car, which goes to show you that animals can show compassion as well. And animals show more compassion than that asshole in the White House. So, F you, asshole in the White House, and you should be more like kangaroos who show at least some sign of emotion, and you don't because you're a completely broken asshole. A triangular skyscraper has been discovered on the grounds of Area 51 through satellite photographs. Nobody knows what's in there or what the process is, but it is a bizarre building in the middle of nowhere in Area 51 in the desert, and no one is quite sure what is happening in there. So keep your eyes to the skies, stuff like that. August 24th is now known as Kobe Bryant Day in Orange County. Kobe Bryant, for those who don't remember, actually died in January of this year. It seems so far away. It seems like he died last year because this year has seemed like forever. We're 8 months in. He died 8 months ago, which really is not that long ago if you think about it. But August 24th has been declared as Kobe Bryant Day in Orange County. Tasty Cake has released birthday cake flavored mini donuts. Birthday cake flavor seems to be one of the new big flavors that they're working on, because there's also birthday cake waffles out now as well. Another big flavor is the maple cream stuff, and we'll be talking about that in a little bit. I guess it's the next page over. There's cotton candy flavored popcorn is now available on the stands as well. Land O'Lakes maple butter is coming out this fall. That sounds actually quite delightful. I might have checked that out for myself. Maple cream Oreos are coming back. They were a staple last year. They were fantastic. I love them more than any Oreo flavor I've had in a long time. So I'm excited to see them come back. So that will be great as well. Popcorn flavored M&Ms are a thing. They were part of the Halloween set that was up at Weiss. So I bought a pack of them. They're upstairs. I haven't had a chance to eat them. I also talked last week about the Cocoa Crispy M&Ms as well. I bought a pack of those too because they are now on sale at my store too. Major League Baseball, I talked about it earlier in the show. They're having some issues with their COVID-19 stuff. One of the things they're thinking about doing is basketball seems to be succeeding by keeping all their teams in a bubble, which means they're all playing in the same locations. They keep them all in the same area and test them and make sure that that's only confined to that one area and it's not spreading, stuff like that. And it seems to be working out pretty good. Same with the WNBA. They're doing a pretty good job of that. Well, Major League Baseball is now considering, due to all the issues they've been having because they've been traveling and stuff like that, of maybe making the playoffs take place in a bubble, basically meaning a neutral site for all the playoff games to happen. Could be a good idea. We'll see what happens. Could also help when baseball starts, or rather football starts, that it'll make things a little bit easier for people. Caramel with chocolate chunk Rice Krispie treats are coming out soon. That sounds absolutely delightful. Last year, Mountain Dew released in time for the fall their Voodoo flavor of Mountain Dew. They didn't tell you what the flavor was, but it was kind of a skittly, fruity sort of taste. It was okay. It wasn't fantastic, but it wasn't bad. Well, Mountain Dew's Voodoo 2 will be coming out with a brand new flavor, and people don't know what that flavor is yet. So when you see Voodoo 2, go ahead and give it a try. AMC theaters to reopen on August 20th. God, that's only 5 days away. In 100 locations. Not in Baltimore, we're not in Maryland though, so it's going to be elsewhere. And they are going to offer 15 cents a ticket to get people to come back to the movie theaters. So we'll see how that goes as well. Dairy Queen has created a brand new shake called the Pumpkin Cookie Butter Shake that actually sounds very delicious. And again, with fall coming, these are good times to try some of this stuff as well. Inflatable Beetlejuice sandworm is now available for your Halloween decorating pleasure, and it lights up. So if you like the Beetlejuice sandworms, you can have one on your front lawn for Halloween, and it lights up. So that's pretty cool. For all those, well, there's not going to be really any sports this year, but it might be good to have it in case sports come back next year. Heated folding chairs is a thing now, so that when you're out, let's just say hypothetically, if everything was good, you would be at a soccer game or a football game with your kids, or a high school football game or college football game or whatever, or any women's sports, field hockey, whatever. And instead of being chilly because it's cold during the fall, you could be sitting on a folding chair that'll keep your butt and yourself warm. So that's pretty good. Ugly Halloween sweaters are coming back again. That was a thing that HalloweenCostumes.com did last year. They bring them back this year with some new designs. So maybe this will be the year I'll buy some. Baby Yoda continues to take over stuff. You can now get a succulent plant, which is basically a ceramic Baby Yoda in his little chair with the plants growing around Baby Yoda. So that's available now also. If you miss going to concerts, there is a new social distancing thing that some concerts are going, particularly rock concerts are creating metal boxes in the where on the surrounding the stage where the rock band is playing, and it's only for, I guess, maybe 2 to 4 people to sit in, and that's it. And it's separated big enough. There's enough aisleways so that you can fit lots of people around it, and it's actually a way to get back to the concert and be able to social distance at the same time. So I think that's kind of a good idea. The picture does it better justice, but it's really, really good about that. Dunkin', their fall lineup is coming next week. That includes the pumpkin spice lattes, the apple donuts, pumpkin donuts, stuff like that. All that good stuff you love and know and love is coming. Betty Crocker to release no-bake chocolate peppermint cookie dough bites for Christmas. We talked about the other cookie dough bites you can get now, but Betty Crocker is getting involved with it. That was Pillsbury. This Betty Crocker, they're doing a Christmas one, so you'll be able to get your Christmas one up there. Disney Channel has its first bisexual animated character from an animated TV show called The Owl House. So good on that. Man learns his cult revolver that he's had for years is worth $195,000 on Antiques Roadshow. That's why you watch Antiques Roadshow to see that kind of stuff. We talked about the Godzilla Museum that's opening up in Japan, or Tokyo rather. Well, phase 2 is coming up soon, and that includes a ride where you can zip line into the mouth of a giant Godzilla statue. So that's pretty cool. If you want to zip line into the mouth of Godzilla, you can do it. David Tennant, the 10th Doctor, Barty Crouch Jr. and Harry Potter, the Purple Man and Jessica Jones and Good Omens and all over the place, is requesting he'd like to be a part of the Star Trek series in some form or another, movie, TV show, whatever. So I say sign him up. Maybe do a Doctor Who Star Trek crossover, or create a whole new character that's a big and important deal for David Tennant to do. That'd be really kind of cool to see that. The Minions Rise of Gru trailer was released this week. It's going to come out next summer. And it basically shows it's going to be focused more on the Minions and young Gru. Remember, the Minions movie ended with them meeting up young Gru, and then this shows how they became his minions and helped him along the way. So we'll see that coming up real soon. Olivia Munn is going to be returning to G4. We talked about G4 returning. Olivia Munn started her career there and is deciding that maybe she wants to go back there again. That's pretty cool. What the hell is that? Oh, Christian parents call Wisconsin's school district's face mask requirement satanic. I don't think you're really Christian. If you understood the Christian religion, you would not be calling something that protects lives satanic. Better yet, why don't you tell that and take that up with my cousin? Oh, yeah, you can't. My cousin passed away due to COVID-19 this week. Thanks for not wearing a mask and calling it satanic, you pieces of shit. Sony is going to buy Crunchyroll from Warner Media for $1.5 billion. Crunchyroll is all anime station that shows anime 24/7, new episodes coming out of the way. It's a big deal, makes a lot of money. So 1.5 billion for Crunchyroll, that's a big deal for Sony. So if it gets approved, that's absolutely insane. Speaking of assholes, man and woman assault a teenage Sesame Place worker after being asked to wear masks. Again, why don't you take it up with my cousin? Oh, wait, you can't. He died due to COVID-19 because you wouldn't wear your fucking mask. You fucking morons. Dwayne Johnson has now become the highest paid actor in the world. Good for him. American Pie 9 trailer showed up. Now, I know it's like, how can there be an American Pie 9? Well, it's easy. There were 4 American Pie movies with the main cast. And then there were a bunch of spin-off direct-to-video ones that had Eugene Levy in them, but not really any members of the other cast. They had, I think, Stifler's brother was one of the characters in a couple of that. So they had a couple of those show up. And now we have this new one, which is going to focus on women. It's called Girls Rule, but it's basically taking the whole American Pie stuff, of gratuitous sex antics of a bunch of young teenagers and switching the sex by making it female, hunting after males and stuff like that. So hopefully it'll have the heart of American Pie did, but it will be a direct-to-video thing like the other ones were as well, with the exception of the original 4 that came out. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Ends its 6-season run this week. I lost track of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. after the first season. It was supposed to be more connected to the MCU movies, but once they changed up the production groups, the TV people thought, there's no reason for us to connect to the movie series, and the movies were like, we don't need to connect with the TV series, and so they went their own ways. And I haven't been. It's always one of the shows that I wanted to watch, but just never found the urge to do it. And I've read the descriptions of the episodes. I was like, it might have been okay, but yeah. So they ended their 6-season run this week. So there's going to be no more Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. out and about. A lot of people probably didn't think they were still out there, but they were. Does Bigfoot live in caves? Is that why we haven't been able to find him? Because he lives in caves like bears? It's very possible. Makes a lot of sense, right? If they are one evolutionary scale behind us, they're going to need a place to stay warm, stay cool, stay dry. And it might be a reason why people don't really find them too much, because people don't really go exploring caves, because hey, bears might live there and they might attack you. But hey, why not Bigfoots also? The bears probably, if they think they want to go to that cave and they sent a Bigfoot, they're going to say, hell no, I ain't going to stay in there. And they would probably go on to a different cave. New dinosaur related to the T-Rex was discovered. Let's see if I can, it has been classified as a Vectirovenator inopinatus. Vectirovenator inopinatus is the new dinosaur name that is related to the T-Rex. Here's a sortie. A beetle was videotaped who managed to crawl out of a frog's butthole after being eaten. So the frog ate the beetle, and the frog was able to crawl out of the frog's ass before it got digested and survive. That's got to be a story in and of itself. My kids got the word a couple weeks ago that Baltimore County Public Schools is going to be going 100% virtual learning. And so we got the plan for this week. The plan came out on Friday. Basically, Monday and Thursday, they will have periods 1 through 4. Their class starts at 8. Their class time starts at 8. School day starts at 8 o'clock, ends at 3 o'clock. They are each an hour and a half long classes, and they have about 40 minutes for lunch. The thing is, though, technically the classes are only about 50 minutes long, and then it's 40 minutes of private study and working on your homework, or questions with your teacher, stuff like that. So you'll be able to have a little bit of downtime. You'll have 50 minutes with their class, but then you need like 40 minutes of work time to get caught up. So until your next class comes around. Tuesday and Friday from 8 to 9:30 is something that we don't know much about yet. It's some sort of weird class that's not part of their regular period schedule. Don't know what it's about. And then 5, 6, and 7 are going to be on those days, Tuesday and Friday. Wednesday is going to be their day off, as it were, personal study, whatever you want to. So they will not be doing in-class online stuff. So that's the BCAPS schedule. The kids will be getting their actual schedules on Tuesday with who their teachers are and when their classes are. So we'll get all that later. Speaking of Halloween, Halloween cereals are back out in theaters now, in stores now. So your Frankenberries, your Boo Berries, your Reese's Puffs, stuff like that, they're all coming back out there. For the alcoholics, a pumpkin spice white Russian is a good drink you might want to try out this fall. Pumpkin spice latte ice pops is a thing also. So if you want a pumpkin spice latte during the summer, though, you can create pumpkin spice latte ice pops. Cheeses arranged as a graveyard are a tribute or take on the charcuterie boards, with the cheese boards. So there's somebody actually created like a graveyard of cheese, different cheeses that you can try that look like a graveyard of cheese. So that was kind of a neat idea too. Burger King has added mini shakes. So if you don't want a big shake, but you want a really, really small shake, you can have that. Annie Ann's Pretzels has released their peach lemonade frost for summer. They've still got a little bit of time left to do that as well. White pumpkin pie M&Ms are back as well, though I didn't see those in the Halloween section at Weis. Maybe down the line as well. Chocolate hazelnut Oreos for the Nutella lovers. I'll be coming out this fall as well. The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air is going to be redone as a drama. I don't know if I'm a big fan of that, particularly the drama part. My Spy was a big joke for the longest time because no one ever thought it was going to come out. The date kept changing over and over again. Eventually, they decided to release it video on demand. I guess did pretty good because My Spy 2 is coming out soon, so they're working on that as well. James Bond will be joining the ranks of the Funko Pops with some Funko Pops based on James Bond movies. You can have a sleepover at the last Blockbuster video store in the country. It has now become a Airbnb, so you can have you can hang out at Blockbuster Video for a night if you want to. Africa's Loch Ness Monster has been caught on film by tourists. I believe it's Mokele Mbembe is his name, so someone actually caught some pretty clear video of that. Unicorn and mermaid waffles are now a thing. Maple cream fudge stripe cookies are a thing also. Pillsbury pumpkin cookie dough and caramel apple cookie dough are now available. As I said, Toll House to release filled sea salt caramel baking truffles. So if you like sea salt, stuff like that. So all kinds of stuff coming out for fall and good stuff like that. Krispy Kreme's is releasing 2 new Snickers donuts. One covered in roasted peanuts, nougat pieces, caramel, and a whole bar is on it as well. I don't see it on here, but Swiss Miss has, it was last week, pumpkin spice hot chocolate. Funfetti, which has only been available in vanilla, is now available in chocolate cake versions now as well. Ghost detecting stones are a thing now. So instead of using EVPs, stuff like that, there's a stone now that if you wear it around your neck, it'll register when a ghost comes too near it. So that's kind of interesting. Swiss scientist creates a glow-in-the-dark mice in order to study cellular function. So we now have glow-in-the-dark mice. Terror crocodile Dinosuchus has banana-sized teeth to take down monster dinosaurs. That has been discovered as well. Okay, I talked to you about what's going on with Fortnite. Well, as soon as the announcement was that they were no longer going to have Fortnite on the app stores for Google and iPhones, people were actually putting their iPhones that had Fortnite downloaded onto eBay, and they've been asking for thousands of dollars to get it. And there's probably enough stupid people out there that they will probably pay for it. Herman Cain, a Republican, died of COVID-19 2 weeks ago because he didn't wear a mask to one of that asshole's Klan rallies. So he died 2 weeks ago. This week, miraculously, he came back from the dead to tweet their anger about Kamala Harris joining the Biden group. So is Herman Cain a zombie and text tweeting from beyond the grave, or is his staff still have access of it and doing attacks of Joe Biden and Kamala Harris via a dead person's Twitter, which should be illegal? If someone dies, they die, you should shut down their Twitter account and not let people hack it or use it for their own ends. It's not a good take on stuff. Ryan Reynolds has started his own streaming service, but only has one film on it, the 2003 Foolproof, which I guess he was in, when he was younger. So there you go. Brandon Lee's Crow costume sells at auction for $25,000. There's a Dr. Pepper shortage out there, which actually I haven't seen. I've seen more along the lines of a shortage of flavored Cokes and Pepsis. I haven't seen like vanilla Coke or cherry vanilla Coke or cherry Coke or any of those out in stores in a really, really long time. Disney to stop releasing 4K physical media for its live action catalog. So you will not be getting any 4K Blu-rays or DVDs anymore of any Disney stuff. There is a Princess Bride board game. I mean, every other movie has a board game. Why not Princess Bride? So that might actually be kind of interesting to take a look at. Speaking of Fortnite, Joker, Poison Ivy, and Midas in a cyborg suit will be coming back to Fortnite on November 17th in a pack. The Batman pack has been returned to the store, as has the Harley pack, Catwoman pack as well, have been released to the shop, and I bought all of them because I'm a comic book geek. The video game Doom is a Christian game. It was created by a Mormon, and in it, they kill demons. There are people who call it demonic and satanic, but if you think about it, you're actually killing demonic and satanic creatures. So check yourself there, morons. The Clueless reboot is going to be centering on Dion, which was Cher's best friend. Finds a home at the Peacock, so I guess it's going to be another TV show. There was a Clueless TV show earlier. I guess they're doing a new one now. It's just going to focus on Dion and not Cher so much, so we'll do that as well. Kenneth Copeland, one of those crazy-ass preachers, says Trump uses bad language because he's too busy watching Christian TV. Bullshit! Sorry, I just had to clear my throat there for a second. No face-to-face sex will protect you from COVID-19. I haven't had face-to-face sex in a long time, and I really, really want it, so I'd be willing to do it. But they're saying not to do it, so maybe that's why we're not doing it as often as we would. Oh, well. And finally, the final story for today. Let's make sure that's correct. So, we've been talking about all the new flavors of candy and cookies and Pop-Tarts and Oreos, stuff like that have been coming out, and the candy corn, stuff like that. Well, this is something brand new nobody thought about. So you have candy corn at Halloween mostly. That's the biggest one. Everyone likes the candy corn at Halloween. They soon created candy corn for Christmas, red and green flavored ones as well. And then they've come up with candy corn for Easter, like pinks and light blues and stuff like that for spring stuff. Maybe they did a green one for St. Patrick's Day. I don't know for sure, but candy corn is a pretty big, outlet now, and a big deal now. So it's only a matter of time when they've come out with turkey dinner candy corn for Thanksgiving. It's supposed to taste like turkey and stuffing, and I'm honestly intrigued by it, and I'm honestly considering buying it. I think I would buy a pack of it and give it to my brother-in-law because he absolutely loves Thanksgiving dinner. But the fact that there is an actual turkey dinner candy corn, it's not an onion thing or anything like that, it's an actual thing, is absolutely insane. So, did 2 episodes today. Wasn't planning on it, but my eulogy for my cousin who unfortunately passed away this week due to COVID-19 uh, deserved its own episode. So I will be posting both of these episodes this week coming up. Um, Obviously, I'll be spending more attention on my eulogy for my cousin, but this one is just as fun to do, and hopefully, you guys will use this as sort of like a sherbet solve to recover from the hardship that happened this week. So that was my hell week. Hopefully, you guys do not have a hell week or don't have one in your future, and hopefully, we're trudging through the dog days of summer now. We're getting closer to fall. Um, Things just seem to be staying the same, which shouldn't be. We should be getting better, but we're not. So we need to work harder on doing that. So let's work harder on trying to change things so that, we don't keep doing the same things over and over again. Let's try to have no more hell weeks. We'll find out next weekend if we have another hell week. So stay tuned, stay healthy, love your family, keep an eye out, be safe, revolt, never back down, and just continue the fight if you need to. Thanks, guys, for watching, and thanks for all the thoughts and prayers you sent out about my cousin. Be safe, be healthy. Bye.